Parashat Yitro, famous parasha. It's the parasha where the Charles Heston picks up the thing, and you see the golden Rolex. You know, they took it out, but wonderful. So, but right before Kadosh Baruch Hu is about to give the Torah to Am Yisrael, Kadosh Baruch Hu speaks to Moshe, and he tells him a message, or delivers a message to Moshe that maybe, if I should say, is the foundation for our own existence as a nation, and the root of fixing the world to where it should be. We always like to, just say things, and we say things, but you have to understand that the words of the Torah carry a tremendous message with them that really needs to deep thinking and needs a close observation. So I'm just going to try to bring something out to the surface, and then maybe you guys will be able to think about it further. And it says, Ve'ata, and now, Im shamua tishma'u b'koli, if you'll decide to listen to what I'm telling you, Ushmartem et briti, and you will guard my covenant, Ve'haitem li sgula michol ha'amim, and you will be dedicated to me from all the nations, Kili kol haaretz, because the whole land is mine. Ve'atem tihiyu li mamlechet kohanim ve'goy kadosh. And they weren't Persians, by the way, goy kadosh, right? Ve'goy kadosh, elu advarim asher tedaber el bnei Yisrael. These are the words in which you're going to say to bnei Yisrael. Vayavo Moshe ve'ikal ziknei ha'am. Moshe called the elders of Israel, not of Zion. He calls the elders, Vayasem lifneim et kol advarim ha'ele, and he gave him that, portrayed that message, Asher tzivahu Hashem, which HaKadosh Baruch Hu had commanded him, Vayanu kol ha'am yachdav v'yomru, and they famous say, Kol asher diber Hashem na'aseh. That's the famous statement, but this dramatic thing, I think, many times miss a tremendous secret here. There is one of the famous commentators on the Zohar is Rav Ashlag. He wrote Sefer Pirusha Sulam to the Zohar. So he has a special ma'amar. It's called Ma'amar HaAravot. It talks about Matan Torah. He writes tremendous ideas and new concepts regarding this event that happened right before Matan Torah. I guess because of the great, drama of Matan Torah, we always miss that. So Baal HaSulam explains that in the essence of these things, there is a question in which Bnei Yisrael were asked before they received the Torah. Are they going to accept upon themselves, one by one, as individual, the mitzvah of ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha? Are you going to do this, yes or no? Because we know the whole Torah is dependent on that's the essence of the whole Torah. So he asked them, right? Or as Rabbi Akiva says, ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha ze klal gadol b'Torah. It's a great rule in the Torah. Klal gadol, every time we know that everything stems from it, right? Klal gadol amru b'Shabbat, perek Shabbat, and so on. And all the other details that are in the Torah come from that. And I was always wondering, really, how does that have to? It's a very nice. Listen, Rabbi Akiva knows what he's saying, but how do you come up? How does he come up with that concept, or where is he at? So the question is asked: is there first of all a suggestion here that Bnei Yisrael are being offered to receive the avodah azot, which is the Torah? And what is really the reward of such a thing? So from the pasuk we could kind of understand. By the way, sgula, v'aitem li-sgula means basically that HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't need anything. Just like a king doesn't need something, but there's something precious that is very dear to him. he doesn't need it, but it's the most precious, it's prized possession. So is Am Yisrael. So that's his Gula. You are all my creation, the whole, everything. However, Am Yisrael is the crown jewel of that. And the statement "Ve'hayitem li am sgula michol ha'amim," is this a commandment to be am sgula? Are you supposed to be unique, or it's a promise? And if you would keep it, you'll be unique. Okay? Ve'hayitem, ve'atem tihiyu, ve'atem tihiyu. Is this a promise also? Atem tihiyu gol kadosh mamlechet kohanim, and you should be a holy nation and a nation of priests and ministers. Kohanim, by the way, always doesn't necessarily mean priests. We'll talk a little bit about it, but you should know in general it also means, as Rashi says, when he says about Kohen Midyan, about Yitro, it's a minister. So we have a lot of questions. So I want to jump a little bit, and let's talk about the overshadow, the great shadow that's casting here, which is the Ten Commandments. Let's just 1 second take a pause from that. Let's keep it in the middle, and let's talk about the Ten Commandments. We know, and that's why they have those Ten Commandments looking like those two tablets. Well, there is a division, the famous division, that the first 5 are Ben Adam Lamakom, between man and God, and the other 5 are Ben Adam Le Adam, right, between man and man. Don't kill, don't steal, etc., etc., etc. Okay. However, there's another division. That talks about it, which is it does make sense, but there's another division that does make sense, is to divide it into 3 groups. Okay? That in each one of them, each group, there are 3 commandments. I know there are 10, but there are 3 commandments. The first 3 commandments deal all in our relationship to God. I am God, don't make idols, and so on and so forth. To believe in God, the prohibition to do to worship other gods, to become an idol worshiper, not to carry God's name in vain, not to swear in God's name in vain, and so on and so forth. The other group deals with ours being creation of God. We are the creation of God. In other words, Shabbat, the Heilige Shabbos, Shabbat reminds us Briat Haolam, right? As we say when we say Kiddush, right? Zecharon leMaaseh Bereshit, Zecher L'Yetziat Mitzrayim. So reminds us of that. We have to respect our parents that brought us to this world, and we always know the statement that the Gemara says there are 3 partners in every person: a father, the mother, and God. When the parents gave him the body and the God gave him the spirit, so by respecting our parents, we also remember the other third party, which is God. So that it is, also a reminder of God. And the third one will be murdering, Retzach. To know that all creatures and all humans were created in the image of God, therefore no one is allowed to kill a person. It's like, God forbid, erasing God's name out of this world, therefore you're not allowed to kill. As it says in Sefer Bereshit, Betzem Elokim Bera'am, all men, all humans were created in the image of God. And that's a very, very wonderful statement. I wish that all those people in the world who believe in the Bible and believe in the Quran and the Allah snack bar and all the other things would also internalize and first of all respect the fact that all humans were created in the image of God. And God does not command you to kill people. And therefore you should not kill people in the name of God. Not in a jihad and not in a crusade. Okay? It's something that we have to remember that. We need to know this more than anybody else, but the other people should be reminded of that as well. The other section of mitzvot, hey, kohanecha ילבשו צדק, וחסידיך ירננו, כך דירה, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo está la vida?
Mucho bien, señor.
Mucho bien, también, ok. Que bendicho el Dios. Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
Islam.
Islam. Yeah. Bismillah ar-Rahman. Okay, forget it. Now, so the third, the third one deals with the institution, the basic institutions of society, right? Which is Isur Ni'uf, which is acting morally in sexual interactions, right? Which is sanctifying marriage, right? That's why we have to be careful not to go after somebody else's wife and so on and so forth. The prohibition of stealing, right? Which establishes the right of a person to make a purchase. We can buy, we can own things, right? And therefore, I mean, look at the revolution that those mitzvot create in the world. Where are all these philosophers in your college, right? Where are they when it comes to that? All the sociologists and all those bright lights, right? If it wasn't for Judaism, you would not be allowed to own anything. We already spoke years ago, many times, about the importance of establishing the concept of Shabbat in the world as the first initiation of freedom in the world. But here I want to tell you something else. If it wasn't for Lo Tignov, you should not steal, you would not be able to own anything. Because if I steal something for you, it means that you own it. And until that point, you weren't allowed to own anything. The king always owned everything, including you. So that's lo tignav. And the prohibition of to giving a false testimony, as we're learning in the morning in the Gemara, which is establishing an appropriate system of laws and courts and judiciary system and so on, which we've been dealing for, I don't know, a few months already in the Gemara and Sanhedrin regarding all these things, which is a wonderful thing. The more you learn about it, the more I'm amazed at the depth of intellect of this people, of the Chachamim and the Tanaim and the Amoraim, which is absolutely ridiculous. However, no, I mean, knowing all these things, again, knowing all these things, it all comes to one thing, comes to freedom. All these are different forms of expressing and initiating men's freedom. So you got to respect those things. You got to respect. And if a man is not free, if a person is not free, so you're not going to have a free society. So it's good that we have courts. Courts should do their courting, right? You know what I'm saying. But they should not rule from the bench. They're not the executive branch. They are a different branch, right? But you got to respect it. It's a good thing that we have courts. And it's a good thing that we're allowed to own, and it's a good, and so on and so forth. Take those things, don't, with a little bit deeper. Don't fall asleep, honey. I'm so boring. You talk about Beyonce dancing in the Super Bowl, whatever. But then it leaves us with one thing. It leaves us with one mitzvah. If we have 3, 3, and 3, there's one extra mitzvah. The most underestimated mitzvah out there. And if you look at this, all of a sudden that 10th commandment seemed completely out of place in the structure of what we call the 10 commandments. Why did God have to give Dafka those 10 to Am Yisrael? Okay, so we understand, but what are we doing with the 10th one? If you remember, for years I've been telling you that the 10th one is corresponding with everything else, and especially with the first one, I am God. The last one is I am God. The first one is I am God. The last one is Bal Tachmod. I want to make this point a little bit more solid now, if I may. So it seems that the Torah gives us with this commandment a whole series, a whole battery of ideas and concepts that many times we, if I may say, kind of neglected and pushed aside. And we have to be very careful about it. if you look at psychology, in psychology, and it's okay to look at psychology sometimes, it's okay. There is a branch in psychology that's called cognitive behavior. In other words, our thoughts affect our behavior, and then our behavior affect the thoughts. Right? It's a cycle. And then we have the CBT, the cognitive behavioral therapy. So in that mindset, we know that our behavior is affected by the way we think and so on and so forth. So if you take many examples of people like this and you sit down and you analyze, you say, oh wow, that's really it really is true. For example, self-centered people or somewhat narcissist people will be very they will tend to be insulted quite often because they will think that many people talk about them or not accepting them and so on and so forth, which will make them slight paranoid, and because of that they'll behave a certain way and on. Even though that thought, that pattern of thinking is quite removed from reality, it might be that nobody's really talking about them. But if, for example, argument's sake, let's say Yeshua, argument's sake, is the narcissist, and I and Ariel are talking, and all of a sudden I just tend to look at him, he immediately will think that we're talking about him, but we were talking about, I don't know, whatever we were talking about, anything else besides him. So it has nothing to do with reality, but it's their feeling, and therefore that's their thinking, and that's their feeling, and they will act in a certain way. And because of that, argument's sake, because Yeshua thinks that Ari and I spoke about him, therefore he would do what? He would be angry at us, and he would start to hate us, and the whole thing. Hello, Mongolian. You conquering the world. And all of a sudden, he comes to us and he says, we're saying, what's the matter with you? And he says, you always talk about us and we don't know what's going on. Okay? Another thing that we have to think about, which I'm telling you all the time, lately we've been talking a lot about this, is jealousy. Jealousy is very bad. We spoke this week earlier about the concept or misconcept, what people say, kinat sofrim tarbe chokhmah, the competition is good. Competition is not good. And I'm not going to repeat this whole thing, do a preview, go to YouTube or Torah Anytime, whatever it is that it's on, watch it and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Jealousy is very bad. Jealousy is one of the main reasons for violence in the world. Jealousy. Jealousy will cause our ego to mislead us, will make us feel entitled, and it could be devastating. The results will be devastating. I mean, one of the biggest conflict, or the reasons for the conflict in the Middle East is, believe it or not, is the jealousy that some people feel towards the Jews there. You see, the Saudis don't have anything to do with the Israelis because they have a lot of money. They feel okay. But the people who call themselves, again, there's no such thing. They call themselves Palestinians, right? They're jealous of the Israelis. But hey, who's stopping you? You're stopping you. Why were you jealous? That's why they hate them. That's why there's never going to be peace. Another reason why there's never going to be peace, because there's tremendous hatred. It doesn't make a difference what you'll give them. It doesn't make a difference that there's no more Israeli presence in Gaza. They still have a problem with us. Have you ever thought about it? Talk to your liberals. Say, I don't understand. You got Gaza. You got everything. It's yours. Run it. What's the problem? Jealousy. And jealousy drives us to no end. It destroys us and destroys the people that we are jealous at. In our Torah, the jealousy is what caused the first sin, the first killing of Cain that killed Abel. That was Kinai, was jealous, because he said, Your offering has been accepted, mine is not. What's going on here? Jealousy was the cause of, right or wrong, we're not talking about it, of the story of Yosef and his brothers that were jealous because he was the favorite. Right? That's a for example. For the brothers, it was very bad. They were jealous at Yosef. Let me ask you a question. Leave all the midrashim to the side and so on and so forth. Who stopped them and said, listen, Pops, with all due respect, we have a lot of respect for you. You're our father, Yaakov Avinu, right? But this cannot continue anymore. We're leaving. Here, take your Yosef and take your Binyamin and run with it. But we are out of here. We can't take this. Nobody stopped them, but they wanted to kill. They were ready to kill him. And we know that, psychologists and philosophers and sociologists and all the other logists, that are out there, will tell you that the most basic cause for violence is simply unexplained desire for something. That I don't have something. In other words, I want to become the owner of something that someone else has owned. That is owned by someone else. I'm not happy with you. I'm not happy with you, not because you did anything to me, because you have something that I don't have and I want that something. And that will be the cause for, if there is ever, God forbid, any other war in this country, is a civil war in this country, it will be because a certain group of people, whoever them might be, would feel that they deserve something that somebody else has even though it's free for all, go get it. I mean, it's the land of all opportunities here in America. Nobody's stopping you. And that will be the Civil War. It would not be about rights. You need civil rights, you need liberties. It's not going to be that. It's going to be on basic things like this, because that's the root of all evil. And that desire, that unexplained desires, will bring you to violate all the other commandments in which we talked about. You're going to desire somebody else's wife. You're going to desire his field. You're going to desire his possessions. And because of that, let's go backwards. You're going to steal. You're going to kill. You're going to lie. You're going to betray your parents. You're going to hate your parents. You're going to worship idols. And at the end, you're going to rebel against God. So the 10th commandment is maybe the most, as I said to you, underestimated commandment out there to understand what is it that we need to fix and what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from us. We don't talk about that. But now we do. So you understand. The Baal Sulam explains to us that the avodah in which the Torah commandments and the mitzvot are coming to effect or coming to form all a shape in that statement, V'atem tiyu li mamlechet kohanim, that you're going to be a nation of priests and ministers. In other words, you're going to be a goy kadosh, a holy nation. In other words, we all have to be like priests, always clean. Our thoughts are always clean. If a kohen brought a korban and he was thinking another thought while he was slaughtering that animal, the korban is pasul, it's not good. So that's how we have to be. Our thoughts, first of all, have to be clean. But why is he saying it now? I'll tell you. Of course, there is a question here. If we all going to be like Kohanim, so who's going to bring the korban? It's going to be a little problem here. We need a nation that's going to bring korbanot, and we need the Kohanim to bring them. We need them all. But of course, if we look at the Kohanim, what is the first thing that stands out about a Kohen? The Kohen does not have any kind of a materialistic possession in this world in terms of a a land, inherited land. They don't own land, they don't own anything. They're like nomads. I mean, even though they're not, but they don't own land. Hashem is their land. Hashem is their estate. So we're supposed to be like that. And this is how everyone should become. Everybody should know, every one of us should know, and how many times have I been saying it to you? That what you think is yours and what is yours is not yours. It was given to you by HaKadosh Baruch Hu to do something with it. Of course, the question that one needs to ask himself is, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu give it to me? What should I be doing with this? Okay, so let's say HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me a fast car. He gave me like a Hellcat, what's the name? The Dodge, what is it? Charger, Hellcat. Challenger.
Either or.
Yeah, whatever. 600,000 horsepower, So what did he give it to me for? To run to the Bet HaKnesset, to shul, to learn Torah, or to rob banks and to do, Starsky and Hajj? Of course, to do Starsky. No, I mean to come to learn Torah, right? Of course for that. You need to ask yourself. And that's why when we learn halachot tzedakah at night, now you come to understand, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you the money. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you money, what does it mean? He gave you money for you to do what? You're going to be buried with nothing. HaKadosh Baruch Hu designated you to be a messenger for him to distribute his wealth. And you need to be very careful how you distribute this wealth. And you have to do your job as a true executor. You have to do the things, in an honest way to give tzedakah, to understand that it's not yours. That's why tzedakah is such a big mitzvah in Judaism. Because it's not yours. You need to understand. If you have a problem putting your head in the pocket and giving, you really did not internalize the fact that this money was given to you by God. You think that you made this money. You made nothing. Or if you're smart, or therefore anything else that you have, any talent that you have, was given to you by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You could not generate anything by your own. You're not God. And what are you doing with this? If you are so smart, you have a brain, are you making this world better? Or are you using your brain to oppress, to rob people of their money, of their freedom? What are you doing with this brain? Are you spreading your HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah in the world to make this world into a better place for all humankind? What are you doing with this? It's not selfishness. It's sheer stupidity. Not doing what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us. Understand that. It's sheer stupidity. Because guess what? You will have to give account for everything, including that. You're going to be asked, I gave you all these talents. What'd you do with them? You were such a good demagogue. You're like an Obama. Knows how to talk the talk. Forget it, he doesn't walk, he goes in a wheelchair, but you know what I'm saying. Get pushed around. But if you're such a good demagogue, you're a tremendous speaker, you can sell the biggest garbage idea to everybody in the world. You could persuade everybody, and then make people following you. Did you try to bring people closer to Hashem? You had this ability. Why didn't you do something good with it? Why all the powers that were given to you and all the authority that was given you by God to act in this world, the only thing you were striving to do is to make a name to yourself, to build monuments that will carry your name. What is your name? God's name. Hashem hu Elokim. Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach, Hashem Yimloch. You're not the king. You're not. So what are you doing? You tell me it's not stupidity? If this is not stupid, I don't know what is. And that's your Avodat Hashem. You have good, anything that you're good at. Look at this. Am I betraying the purpose that was given it to me? And I said to you before, because you never claim to yourself, what is your own personal mission statement? You don't know, why are you here? You don't know what's the purpose of you being in this world. What's the reason that I'm here? Go to your parents and to complain. They brought you into this world for suffering. You should not respect your parents, right? According to that. You should hate your parents. But we're commanded to respect our parents. Why? Not so we can take care of them when they're old. To understand that your parents gave you an opportunity. It's a reward that your parents gave you to bring you to this world so you could do something with the talents in which HaKadosh Baruch Hu helped them implant into you. So you should be grateful to your parents. Even if you don't like them, grateful. That's why the Shulchan Aruch has such a lengthy chapter that talks about Kibud Avayim. We're not grateful. It's unbelievable to me. So, and just think about it. When you say, and now you understand, if you say it's my car or my body, there really should not be such a big difference between that. Why? Because if you know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you your car so you can do something with it, you understand this is not your car. It's God's car. And your body is God's body. He gave it to you. And you need to take care of everything. And that's why all of a sudden you understand, Bal tashchit, don't destroy, including this world. Yes, we are committed to the environment as well. I'm not talking about, global warming or global that. Leave me alone with this nonsense. I'm talking about the responsibility not to litter, to make sure to take care, not to destroy the earth, not to destroy the air that we're breathing. To leave trees, to take care of the rivers, not to pollute. It's our obligation. But you know why we do that? You know why we do all these things? I'm going to tell you in a second. So therefore you see, if you come to realize, you see that the commandment of Bal Tachmod is really in place. It's not that it's out of place. It's exactly where it should be. Because desire, and I'm not talking about desire, desiring somebody else or something else, and jealousy, which is really the basic forces which disturb harmony, whether it's your internal harmony, whether it's your family harmony, whether it's harmony between friends, between people, between nations, between races of people. I don't like the word race. We're all humans. I mean, really, between us, honestly. You think an elephant or a horse, to him it makes a difference if you are white or you black or you brown or you yellow or you red or whatever other color you are. No, you human to him. He doesn't understand that. For him, a man is a man. Only us. Because we don't appreciate. And why is that? Why are we racist? Because we don't appreciate the basic thing of what does it mean to be human. Should not make a difference what the color of the skin of the... Because you do that. You do differentiate and say, oh, them black people, oh, those Chinese people, You're going to say, oh, Sfaradim, Sfaradim, Ashkenazim, Temanim. You're going to be racist to your own people. Once a racist, always a racist. And there are, unfortunately, Jews who are racist. How many Ashkenazim would really would be willing to marry a Sephardi? Huh? You tell me that. But how about you have a sister? She would marry a Sephardi?
Why not?
How old is she?
It's if I approve it, yeah.
How old is she?
17.
She's too young. But I have two boys. Actually, I have three boys, but two. Yeah. But 17, she's a little too young. That's too young. That's too young, you know. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you're a racist, racism comes from weakness. Weak people are racist. Unappreciative people are racist. There's no room for racism in Judaism. There's no room for that. If you find yourself being a racist, you know that something is fundamentally wrong, not only with your mindset, with your concept of being a Jew. A Jew should not be racist. I don't care which rabbi wrote what, but I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that. Now, you should understand that we are here in this world because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us here. And whatever we have is because HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to have it. And I have exactly what I need, and I get exactly what God gives me. And if I have a problem with this, I have a problem with God. You need to understand that. So once you understand that things are a little better, once you understand that you don't really care what the other person has, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave you that as a personal gift. It's a personal gift. Let me ask you a question. If you know that in the White House, the official settings for the table, places, have an official presidential seal on each and every one of them. You know what it will take from you to own just a plate, original plate, that has the president's seal on it? You couldn't get your hands on it if you wanted to. What happened if I will be, let's say I'll be the El Presidente, and I said to you, here's a brand new set of 4 from my treasury with the president's seal on it, right? First of all, would you ever use it?
No.
I don't think so. It's something probably you will give to your grandchildren, and to your grandchildren it will be a family heirloom. But to him, I gave a congressional medal of gold, something of honor, something. But you care that he got the gold medal and you got the placement? What do you care? You got it for gift for me. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us whatever we have as a gift for him. Because if I understand that this sweater is not my sweater, this sweater was given to me by God. How? He gave me the money to buy it. And he gave me the ability to buy it. And he more so gave me the right to buy it, to own it. Because if I, Chas v'Shalom, would have been a slave, I would not be able to own anything. And I am God's slave. I would like to believe, I would like to hope that one day I'll be at the level deserving to be called God's slave. Maybe only Moshe Rabbeinu was called God's slave. I have aspirations, but a long way to go. But if I understand that, then what do I care if my sweater cost me $10 at Costco? Why do I care that he has a, Giorgio Armani sweater from merino virgin wool that was washed by virgins with 3 eyes? What do I care? That's what he has. No, Gesundheit. That's what Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted him to have. That's what he has. I don't really care. That's mine. That's his. Once you understand that your life, it takes a totally different turn. Your life becomes so much easier. We make our life difficult because we don't even enjoy what we have. We're always busy worrying about what we don't have. So even what you have, you don't enjoy. And if you think that you are not going to be asked about it by God, I gave you that stuff. Why didn't you enjoy it? Why you never took care of the stuff I gave you? I gave it to you. What's the problem with this? Why, it wasn't good? You didn't even enjoy what I gave you. And you want to sell it to me that you believe in me? How could you believe in me? You didn't even appreciate what I gave you. That's your test. That's your test. And our tests are very difficult because we have a lot of opportunities to buy a lot of things, and that's a big test, and you need to understand that. So, how do we come out of this? How do we come out of this? The antidote for jealousy is appreciation. What we call hakarat tov. Hakarat tov is, if you translate it in loose translation, it will be recognizing the good. Not just appreciation. I'm recognizing the good. That's hakarat hatov. Chazal tells us, right? Who is it? The Ben Zoma said, Ezu ashir, sameach bechelko. Who is considered to be a rich person? A rich person is the one who is happy with what he has, and not the one who is concerned about what he doesn't have. Right? Of course, we have this most beautiful Jewish tradition that we say every morning. We're supposed to say every morning, right? What do we say? Modeh ani lefanecha, right? Modeh ani lefanecha. I thank you. I stand here in front of you, God, and I'm thanking you. Melech chai v'kayam, a living God. Shehechzarta bi nishmati bechebla rabba benuatecha. If you think about those words that you say, and you really understand what you're saying, and you pay attention closely to what you're saying, that's a very good way to start your day in a very positive note. Why? Because you're starting your day by saying thank you. Saying thank you is a big thing. One of the first words that any kid, I don't know, maybe not some jihadist in downtown, Burqa, but most kids in the world are taught to say daddy, mommy, abba, whatever, and then they say thank you, toda, thank you. If your kid does not know how to say thank you, well, you got a problem. So if you look carefully, this is the tikkun, this is what we should be fixing in our world, in our actions today. Man and creation itself is all built from one matter, right? We call it stardust, angel dust, whatever you want to call this. We all consider from one matter, and that matter is called haratzon lekabel. We are created like a sponge that we always need to receive, and it was created like this. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu can always give us. So He created us always the willingness and the ability to receive. But we know also, and we say it many times, that the initials of the word ra in Hebrew, bad, means ratzon atzmi, self-desires, what I want. I don't care what somebody else's want, right? So as long as I'm immersed with my own self, with my own needs, not caring about anything, not appreciating anything, right? I am immersed with my egoism, my selfishness. I cannot even receive the Torah, Rabotai. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him this beforehand. Matan Torah, giving the Torah, was, and according to what Baal Sulam says, we were not ready until we understand and we prepare ourselves to that. And that is what, before we receive the Torah, we have to understand our relationship with the Gashmi, with the materialistic. You have to be Goy Kadosh, Mamlechet Kohanim. You need to be a group of people who are not selfish. That's why He said to them, in other words, He said to them, Ve'afta l'reacha kamocha. Before you receive the Torah, can you do Ve'afta l'reacha kamocha? Can you like your fellow Jew like you like yourself? Could you? Are you selfish? Are you? Because if you are selfish, there's no room in the Torah. You cannot receive the Torah if you're selfish. You can't. If you want to know also, why is it that you learn Torah or somebody learns Torah and it doesn't get it or doesn't connect to it? Most of the people who don't connect with the Torah are self-centered and selfish. It's very simple. There's no magic in here. There's no anything in it. Selfishness. The Torah cannot maintain itself in a vessel that it's full, right? You have to be empty. There's a famous story about the Zen master, remember? You know the story of the Zen master? Which Zen master? No, not, you look at the moon. No, not this one. Yeah, you put the tea in the teapot.
Becomes the teapot.
It becomes the teapot. Right? No, not that one. There was one time a famous tea master, Japanese tea master, that this samurai wanted to, summon to him to teach him the secrets of the tea ceremony. Says to him, fine, come, you want to talk, I'll teach you tea ceremony. Sit down. He's summoning, well, come here and teach me. No problem, I'll come. So sit down, the samurai is all ready. The master of the chenoya, the tea ceremony, takes the cup and he pours the thing. Pours. The thing is spilling all over. The samurai says, hey, what are you doing here? What are you crazy? What are you doing? He said to him, I'm trying. He says, but I ask you to teach me. You're getting me all dirty. He says, I'm sorry. I cannot teach you until you empty yourself. Empty yourself first of all. Then I'll be able to teach you. We were full of ourselves. Selfish. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Torah cannot stand there. You need to become a kli. You need to become a vessel to pour the Torah. Now you understand why Moshe Rabbeinu knew the Torah better than anybody else? Because he was the most humble of all men. You wanna have that level of Torah in you, empty yourself up. Don't have a sense of entitlement. I'm entitled. You're entitled for nothing. You are entitled for nothing. And everything you get, you say, thank you, Baruch Hashem, thank you. You should thank anybody that does anything for you. Somebody opens the door for you, say thank you. Somebody moves the cart in the supermarket, say thank you. What's the big deal to say thank you? You don't appreciate anything. And then you wonder why you don't connect with the Torah. That's the reason why. We need to, in our society, everything is to be self-centered. The I. We need to be like salmon. We have to go against the stream. Not to go with the stream, as they say, to go with the flow. Because the only thing that goes with the flow are dead fish. We go against the flow. If the whole world is selfish, we need to be selfless. Give, help, care. Say thank you. When we say derech eretz kadma Torah, that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about getting a job. Go get a job before you learn Torah. No, go learn Torah, then get a job. But that's not the derech eretz we're talking about. When we will be able to do so as individuals and as a nation, then we're going to be mamlechet kohanim. We're going to be like priests. We have, what's the big deal? You want it, b'chavod, t'kach et zeh. Take it. Somebody wants to take it, give it to him. Our ability to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in His Torah is only going to be when we are going to be able to sanctify ourselves, to be able to take everything that we do mundane, everything that we do in chol, that is not holy, and to turn this into kodesh. To take the chol and to turn it into kodesh, to sanctify everything that we do, right? As Chanoch became, right? Chanoch became the archangel. He became Metatron. Why? Everything he did L'Shem Shamayim. He sanctified every action he did. When you're going to do so, we're going to become a Goy Kadosh, a holy nation. When we're going to understand that the whole earth was HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The whole universe is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And my job is to be kind and to influence and to help all creations in the world. I'm man. I'm the guardian of the garden. It is my job to take care of it. Yes, the rabbits, the frogs, the horses, the elephants, and men, the trees. I'm the guardian. And all of a sudden you're going to see that your life is really transforming. As Bala Sulam says, that all those melachot that we do, avodot shel chulin, regular jobs that people do, like harvesting and planting, etc., right, are really could be elevated to the level of avodat hakodesh, like a korban, as the kohen would do in Beit HaMikdash. Everything depends on your awareness. Are you receiving or are you influencing? Are you there only to receive? As they say, what have you done for me lately? Rather than to say, what can I do for you? Is there anything I can help you with? Can I help you with? Can you help someone? You should help anybody, not only Jews. You should help everybody. That's your job in this world. To be able to change this awareness, to understand that you are the connecting pipe between creation and God, It's a tremendous job, and then I'll be able to do ve'afta l'reacha kamocha. As much as I want everybody to help me, I want to help everybody as well, and all the time, right? So therefore, he says something very interesting. Nimtza, if you do so, nimtza she'akotzer sadeu, that person who is harvesting his field, kedei la'achil zulato, I'm doing so I can have, people can have food to eat, right? I'm not going to eat all this wheat farm. Imagine you have a farmer in Kansas, right? Oh, you're not going to be eating all this, so why you do so? So people would not starve. A person like this, it says Baal HaSulam, Domeh ke'omed u'makriv korban lakadosh baruch hu. It is like you're bringing a korban. Now, I'm going to tell you something very carefully. Maybe this is one of the reasons that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took Beit HaMikdash from us. So we will be able to elevate ourselves to that level. That we will be able to care through caring, because in Beit HaMikdash, when Beit HaMikdash was, the second Beit HaMikdash, it was sinat chinam. People hated the person just because he was there. Jews were stabbing Jews. There was hatred. So the korbanot, there was no need for HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this korbanot anymore. He says, you're going to bring me korbanot. You know how? That's how you're going to bring korbanot to me. You're going to take care of your others. You're going to go to Galut, and you're going to learn to take care of your brothers and sisters. We didn't want to learn it, so we learned it, we lost it. We need to remind it to ourselves again, especially in this time. The secret of Judaism, or the big secret of Judaism, is the ability to say thank you. That's why they say, we learned it today. Today we talked about it. Who asked me that? Well, yesterday. The Mizmor LeTodah, we said Mizmor LeTodah yesterday, right? Who asked it? Eitan, yeah, you asked it. So, לעתיד לבוא, the Shulchan Aruch says, לעתיד לבוא, כל המזמורים בטלים, only מזמור לתודה. מזמור לסוידה, they drink soda, yeah? Everything, מזמור לתודה. Why? Because the whole secret of Judaism, the Geulah, the redemption, is dependent on our ability to be selfless and to say thank you. That's the secret of Judaism. When we going to cure ourselves from the thought that when somebody else is happy, that takes away from our happiness. That's why I said to you, you go to weddings, do you feel the happiness of the Chatan and Kala? Are you really happy for them? Or you wonder why you are not married yet? How many really happy people are in a wedding? Very few. So when you understand that it's going to be, it's all good, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu takes care of you, and you're selfless, not selfish, and so on and so forth. You are sending, and I hate to sound new age, you're sending a wave of positive energy to the universe. People want to be near you because you're positive. And all the negatives will come to you and they will become positive. You're like a hydrogen, everything connects to, right? Something like that. Well, that's all. Right? So that's something we need to remember. We have to be happy with what you have. You should learn to be happy for other people. Somebody is successful, be happy for him. If you see somebody successful, you should be happy. Why? Because you had a divine revelation now. What? Yes. You saw somebody successful, you had a divine revelation. Why? Because he would not be able to be successful unless God helped him. So you saw his success, you saw God. Very simple. You don't have to look far to find God. You don't need miracles. That is a miracle. A miracle that happens to you every single day when they say things go your way and when things they don't go your way. That's a divine revelation. Because Akol Mito Itbarach, everything is from Hashem. And we don't realize that. Since everything is from Hashem, and everything is given to me from Hashem, and everything is a personal gift to me from Hashem, therefore there's no room for Bal Tachmod. You should not desire. You want to be a holy person, be selfless. You want to be a holy person, be happy with what you have. Celebrate what you have, and don't worry about what you don't have. Have a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.